country, on your smartphone, and around the world. You've tuned in to Bill Martinez Live.
Hey, it's water cooler talk time. Why not, huh? Andrea Kaye is with us, syndicated host of her own show, The Andrea Kaye Show, on TV and radio. Hey, Miss Andrea, how are we doing?
Hey, I am awesome. It is a beautiful, sunshiny day here in San Diego. It's a shame they can't make the numbers actually work for solar panels, or I might have to get me some. We got so much sunshine here.
Well, like everything else that is green, it has a mood. You know, and, you know, it's just not consistent, which I think is good. But, and of course we spent so much money chasing that windmill that, you know, you wonder where's the return on investment. But I guess we're not supposed to ask that question when it's the people's money that everybody's spending. Hey, let's talk about, everybody's getting wiggy these days. I mean, O'Reilly gets wiggy, Maxine Waters gets wiggy. He makes this characterization that, James Brown called and said he wanted his wig back, and whoa, man, she got fired up.
Well, yeah, you know what? Can we just first acknowledge that it was just a dang good joke, okay? I mean,
that's
even now coming up with riffing off of it. Because, and if he were a stand-up comic and said that on a stage, I mean, it would be viral as like one of the funniest jokes ever. But since it's Bill O'Reilly, okay, he's not allowed to say it. Right. You know, I mean, if he had been Rachel Maddow busting on a conservative woman, it'd be cool. He'd be a hero, right?
Yes.
So, but his job, I look at it this way. I said this yesterday. I said, look, if Bill's job is to provide reportage, does that wig not look like James Brown? Is he not appropriating James Brown's look? Of course she is.
Right. Well,
it's just facts.
Yeah. It's some of her theology and philosophy that I question. But of course, for her and, her lefties, they're the only patriots in this supposed United States of America. But, yeah, exactly. I mean, when you're a public figure, guess what? They make fun of O'Reilly all the time. And she gets a little bit of heat, and she's all offended and everything. But I laughed about it, and I got to tell you, I was surprised he apologized. I mean, he could have found a different way to get around. I mean, because it's not like he went into the confessional. He's talking to a priest. I mean, come on, you're wide open. You're Fox and Friends. They chuckled too. I mean, if the truth be known.
Well, because it was funny, and And I can't remember now, like, specifics of mocking and really bad, nasty jokes that were made about Sarah Palin, but there were quite a few.
Oh,
about her glasses and her hair. And they even did, a cover of, I think it was Time Magazine, of her in cycling shorts, all meant to demean her. It's really cool when it's against conservatives. I think if Maxine, Waters, doesn't want any jokes about her hair, I mean, she should be glad at this point that anybody can even see her hair, because this was the same Democrat congresswoman who went to a mosque in Southern California and said only a bigot would vote against Sharia. Well, you know what? Under Sharia, they won't even let a woman show her hair. Okay.
Exactly. James Brown wig or otherwise. Yeah, exactly. Well, it was interesting because during that, that little segment with O'Reilly, Ainsley, after he had made that comment about the wig, Ainsley Earhardt said, well, she says, you can't go after a woman's look. I think she's very attractive.
What?
I said, what? Exactly. But this was her comment because she had to defend women, and that's okay. I mean, women defend women. That's all right. And she thought that maybe, O'Reilly had overstepped the deal. And of course, O'Reilly was quick to retort that, look, I wasn't talking about whether or not she was attractive. I was only looking at her hair. It just reminds me, it triggers James Brown. I feel good, whatever, so, let's make,
and you know what?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I thought you were finished. Excuse me for interrupting. I was going to say, you may be onto something. I'm thinking she was channeling James Brown, the hardest working man in showbiz, right? Maybe she's trying to appropriate his image of being the hardest working woman in Washington. And she certainly is hard working in terms of trying to push her agenda. We got to hat tip her on that, whether she's attractive or not. I tell you what's not attractive is her agenda, and it's flat out socialist while she's out there trying to partner with pro-Sharia people. So anytime I hear, well, we got to defend a woman here, I think, well, she ain't defending women. She ain't going to a mosque and telling them that the way they're treating women under Sharia is a problem.
Well, how is she helping people in Los Angeles, Andrea? I mean, I look at her works and what she's doing there, for the poor people, the black people specifically. I mean, she should be the champion, but her theology doesn't line up with anything that really supports black. I mean, it supports her pocketbook. I mean, she's following the lead of her fellow Californian, Nancy Pelosi, who says it's about me, let me have all the exemptions I need in order to have the health care and the golden parachute after I get out of Congress. And, the little minions there in Los Angeles, tough breaks for them. What is she doing to champion the cause at the ground level for blacks in Los Angeles? That's my question time and again.
Well, I agree with you, and I think it's a great question nationally for all liberal Congress people, because reports continue to come out that the people who are hurt the worst economically with these open borders is not the wealthy people. It's not the corporations. It's the hardworking African Americans that want jobs and can't get them. The unemployment, what have they done? What is not only Maxine Waters, but what did the entire Obama administration and the Democrats in Congress, what have they done for black people, not just during his administration, but over decades?
Yeah,
they elected him into office. Unemployment was skyrocketing under the Obama administration, and yet they continue to fight not just for open borders, but for sanctuary cities and sanctuary states, hurting their own minorities that they claim to represent.
Well, let's not even talk about abortion, okay, which has killed 40% of their people, okay, of blacks in America. It is absolute genocide. But we can't say that. Ben Carson says that. Larry Elder, our good friend Larry Elder, brings that up, and everybody goes all so spastic about it. But that's the bottom line. Look what's happening.
Yeah.
What are your chances of survival in the womb of a black woman today?
Very low.
I mean, you're better off going and fighting ISIS than being in the womb of a black woman today. You know what I'm saying? It's that crazy. But anyway, we could be on that forever, but I want to get on to a couple other topics here that are about the water cooler. And what is it with leggings? You guys are always causing controversy. I mean, what is it with this leggings thing?
You guys?
Because guys, I mean, well, Joe Namath tried to wear leggings, but outside of that, okay, all right, okay, maybe Bruce Jenner. I'm sorry, okay, but all right. So explain to me the leggings controversy.
Well, at first blush, when I first heard this, I'm thinking, what do we got, Taliban Airlines? Monitoring the dress of women? What the stake is going on here?
Right.
And then you like usual, I mean, the headlines, the left-leaning media, exactly want you to think that about a corporation and that there's a war on women in America. And then you read further and you realize that these people were flying for free on something called a buddy pass. And United Airlines has a policy that if you're going to fly for free, you're representing our organization, and we have a dress code according to that. Just like they have a dress code for the flight attendants, just like they have a dress code for their gate agents, and et cetera. Did these people not know that? Right. So they have a right as an organization to say you got to represent us and dress according to our dress code. To me, that should have been the end of the discussion. Where's the controversy? Yeah, exactly. And the kids that were involved here, no big whoop. I mean, one of the passengers in line opened up her case and, gave the young gal a dress. It was no big whoop, but you get people on the sidelines getting all excited. Maybe United needs to look at the policy a little bit too, because as you know, it's kind of like the same thing with, remember Levi's? You couldn't wear Levi's because they weren't dressed up, and you go, wait a minute, I just paid $200 for these. I can't wear them. So culture had to make some modification, understand. So, I mean, if it's some of these things that are, can be provocative, that's one deal. But, the fact of the matter is the culture is dynamic, and maybe it might need to, reconsider, because I'm not that offended, by leggings. It doesn't really bother me. I think, some women wear them well and they look great. It's not a big distraction, but for them, and maybe I'm not seeing exactly what the attendants saw, but they have a standard operating procedure and say, look, no leggings allowed. Hey, let's talk about Schumer. I mean, here we got in contrast, you got up in the Bay Area, we got Michael Savage, who was savagely attacked at a restaurant. He's sitting there by himself with his dog, and some knucklehead, goes and pounds. Savage is like 75 years old. He's all of about 5'6", standing on, probably 5'6" worth of phone books. But I mean,
and he gets attacked by some guy. But now you got Schumer going ballistic at a swanky restaurant in New York. What's all that about?
Well, I think what it's about is it's the same thing that when Ann Coulter got a pie thrown at her. I don't know if they actually made contact or not. Same thing where, Milo had to be ushered away and under armed security because he was under attack. Conservatives or anybody that they think might even be remotely conservative in some way, it's open season. They got a target on their back because they've been getting away with it. Where were the arrests up in Berkeley? There's been no arrest made when anytime you have these protests that get violent or any type of violent attack that's going on here. Why did the restaurant, meanwhile, before I get into what the restaurant should have done, aren't they supposed to be about love trumping hate?
Right.
I mean, everything the liberals do is so hypocritical. It's such a double standard. They talk out of one side of their mouth that they're supposed to be the party of tolerance and love. And then we've got rampant open season happening here. As soon as he verbally assaulted this couple in the restaurant should have thrown him out. Instead, the couple has to leave. He's chasing them out like a chihuahua nipping at their heels. I wish they had called the police on him and had him arrested for assault. I think they should file a restraining order, teach him a little lesson, and Congress should censor him because those were his constituents. Exactly.
Well, Chucky and all those on the left loves a four-letter word, Andrea. That's what we're finding out. So, so we got to be careful with what they say. I'm sorry, I can't hear what you're saying because your actions are speaking louder than your words, and clearly that was the case here with Chucky Boy.
That's right.
We may need to put a muzzle on him. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. There is such a thing as civility and decorum. There it is, Cooler Talk time. Let it spread. Keep it talking. Andrea Kaye on Bill Martinez Live. Thank you, Andrea.